Okay, so is it better if you introduce me to your audience or?
Self-introduction.
Okay, fine. Okay, so yeah, so great. So today we are here and I'm new to this channel, Nana Mitra Transform Your Life. I think we are in the kind of same vision and same mission of transforming people's lives. And I'm glad that, I'm thankful for Vani Garu and the team of Nana Mitra to give me this opportunity to share my experiences and my wisdom. So thank you very much. My name is Shravan Mahesh. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been into this corporate world. I do have a technology company where we provide some services based on artificial intelligence and other stuff. But all this journey into my own self uh, had started very long back, but it had taken a very new uh, new route 3 years back. Like 3 years back, I had a lot of uh, situations where my own spiritual strength was tested. Like my parents had attempted suicide, and also I had to undergo separation with my wife, and then there were a lot many questions inside myself, like what is truth, and the kind of digging into myself had started. It was also a phase where I suffered with severe depression. So having said that, over the years, like after 2 years of continuous fighting with depression, insomnia, and other things, I happened to see one program called Inner Child Healing, Inner Child Facilitation, from Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi. So I attended this event, and it had opened up my complete perspective. Like completely, I had what do you call uh, seen, like why this is happening in my life. What is my root cause? Why are these things, these situations happening? Why I'm not able to be happy with myself? So what is this keeping me down? So this is how I ventured upon to this topic called inner child. And slowly, as I tried to work upon myself, I had lot many situations and lot many understandings about this concept. So today I will be presenting you this concept called inner child, and I'll be sharing my screen. Uh, Host disable participant sharing. Can you enable me this sharing? Uh, Vani Garu, can you enable me the screen sharing? Yeah, great. Okay, so I hope you are seeing my screen. It's better. Great. So, as I had already introduced you to this inner child mechanism, so I will try to explain you what is this inner child, what it is made of. Like this inner child is a metaphorical thing to the kind of to the um, what can you say, like all our memories and thoughts, what we had as a child, like how we perceived this world as a child. So this child is our past self. Like currently, let's say I'm an adult, I'm 32 right now, but I have a self uh, who had lived through 7 years, 8 years, 10 years of age, and there is a collection of memories while I was living these ages. So these memories and these thoughts impact my life a lot, impact even my present life a lot. We can say, like I have grown up and I have taken a lot of experiences and I have changed a lot, but there is this inner child within us still wanting the same things as this 7-year-old or 5-year-old had done. And that's where there is a lot of conflict. And most of the times, this aspect doesn't come to awareness. Like it comes to awareness in one of our close and intimate relationships. That's why we behave very differently as an adult, but when we are in a relationship with others, we become completely different. We become the child. We throw tantrums. We expect them to pamper us, and all those things. So these things are coming from this inner child. So we'll understand what are the basic needs of this inner child. So most of these needs are very core needs, very deeper needs within us. So like the need to feel wanted, like I need to feel like I'm wanted in this world. I'm I'm really wanted. Like I need to be accepted. I need to be appreciated for who he or she is, not for what he or she does. Let's say you appreciate me because I'm an entrepreneur or I am successful in my life. So that is not what my inner child wanted. My inner child wanted me to be appreciated as I am, need to be accepted as I am. And also the needs of the inner child are like feel special and respected. Like the child needs to be special. The child wants to be respected, and also need to have our feelings, thoughts, and intuition validated. Means like we always like if you consider yourself, you see like I'm thinking this, am I right or wrong? You ask some people, you ask for validation, whether is this correct or not, is this right for this situation or not. So the child asks. This is how the inner child looks for this validation, seeking validation. So these are these inner child needs, and most of the times these needs crop into our adulthood, and it will try to create a lot of confusion. Let's say I'm 32 now, and if I keep on going and asking people whether I'm right or wrong, whether I can do this or not, so there is some conflict. So most of the times, if we don't address the needs of this inner child, it comes into our adulthood, and it wants these needs to be fulfilled. Encouragement in discovering and exploring your unique qualities. Like the child needs encouragement, and also child needs to be feel secure and supported. So these are some of the essential needs. Like if you can see yourself, like most of these needs we also carry in our adulthood, and most of these needs drive us. Let's say in our relationship, like someone doesn't respect us. So what happens is like we tend to damage the relationship, assuming that this person is not giving me respect. So many people might have done it. Like if you have felt the same way, you can let us know in your comments. And also these needs need to be addressed. Who can address this? So we will understand in our coming slides. And also there are more and more essential needs for the inner child. Physical touch with loving presence. Like child needs this touch, not wrong touch, but loving touch. Need to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged to learn. And also child needs to witness love and intimacy. Child needs it, and also need to know that it is okay to make mistakes. These are some of the essential needs of the inner child. Like this inner child is nothing like our own past self. Like when we were the child, we have all these needs, we had all these needs, and most of the times some needs are fulfilled and some needs are unfulfilled. And our adult life is like trying to is a kind of race in order to fulfill these needs which were not fulfilled by our childhood, in our childhood. So what we do, like we get into some kind of perversions, so that we will discuss more in the coming slides. But let us right now understand what are the essential needs of this inner child, or the child within us who has lived in the past. Need for respect of boundaries. Like, most of the times we try to abuse children, we try to scold them, we try to emotionally abuse them. And if that boundaries are broken, it creates a deeper wound in the child. And if like my considering myself, like I was being bullied a lot in my school. Like I had undergone a lot of teasing, bullying, and all those stuff. And this particular scar had impacted me right now. Even now, I have some instances where I have uh, fear in expressing my feelings, or expressing myself completely. Like I still carry this fear of criticism, fear of judgment, and fear of bullying, fear of teasing. These wounds are so deeper. So it's important that for the child we need to respect the boundaries, but first we need to heal ourselves. Right now we are trying to heal our own inner child. So let's understand that our inner child have needs. These needs are very important for this inner child. Need to give firm and loving limits. Sometimes we think like, for children we want to give freedom. And most of the times, if you see in the teenagers, the freedom what we given to children in our earlier age will not be a boon for them, but it will be a curse. So most of the times, like people who had grown up with little bit of discipline and little bit of limits uh, grow differently as adult. But when we give complete freedom or completely keep approving the children, sometimes little bit of disapproval is okay. But right now we need to understand that children don't know what is, until where I can go and until what I can do. So we need to set them like, see, this is what is your home. You cannot go out and stay in others' homes. So this is how we educate the children. We need to create the limits for the children, but it should be loving limits. It should not be constraints for them. It should not be like suffocation for them. Whichever is helping the children, we need to set those limits. And also need to be encouraged in discovering and exploring their unique sexuality. We need to encourage them to explore their own sexuality and their own creative gifts, like explore their own joy, their own resourcefulness, like how I can be resourceful, whether I can do like education, whether I can do coding, or whether I can be a doctor, whether I can be a healer, or like how I can be resourceful in this world. We need to allow the children to choose, and allow this there is there we need to encourage them to choose themselves instead of pushing our own things, pushing the adult mind into that. And also they need to explore their own power. Like they need to find out what are their strengths. And we need to encourage them to be alone also, solitude and silence. They need to be encouraged to enjoy that. And sometimes in my childhood, like when I tried to be silent, my parents used to panic, like why is this guy very silent, why is he not going out and playing with others? But no, that need not be a kind of judgment for them, or that need not be a kind of criticism for them. Like okay, you should not be silent, or you should not be alone. Sometimes it's okay to explore solitude, sometimes it's okay to explore silence, and we need to encourage them to do that also. So this we will ignore right now. Now we will understand some wounds, like what are these wounds and how it affects us in our day-to-day life. So some of the wounds are like sexual wounds, physical wounds, mental wounds, and emotional wounds. Like there is an abuse. Like even let us say I have done a lot of therapies to many girl children or girl women. Most of the times they have difficulty with having intimate relationships with their husbands, and also they have a lot of issues with accepting men as they are, because most of the children, most of the women, when they are very younger, very a 3-year-old or 5-year-olds, they have encountered some kind of sexual abuse. So this is a very this creates a deep scar in them. So that's why they won't let any others to uh, touch them, or they will create a kind of cocoon. They will create a boundary within them in order to avoid the abuse, and also physical abuse. Let's say as a children we get a lot of beaten up, and also mental abuse are like, we kept a lot of scoldings, or we say when someone, let's say if a child does a mistake, he throws some glass bottle and the glass bottle gets broken up. What happens is this, instead of condemning the act, what parents do is they condemn the very existence of the child. They say that you are always bad, you always do some mischief, you always do something, like, this how the person's identity is getting abused. This is how the mental abuse happen. Emotional abuse is like, we don't allow the children to express themselves freely. Their emotions, we don't allow them to flow freely. So we try to stop them. Let's say if they are laughing too much, we say, you should not laugh too much. When they are crying, we will say, being a man, why are you crying? These kinds of things will create some kinds of emotional wounds within them. And also spiritual wounds. Spiritual wounds is something related to their own self, and the equation with God. How we try to create some equations with God. Like, say, I have seen some people, let's say in Brazil, and also in our earlier days, there used to be olden days, there used to be a culture called a tradition called Devadasis. So what they tell is, you are now to serve God. In order to serve God, you need to become a prostitute. So this is a spiritual wound. Like, we try to keep God as a kind of equation, and then we try to create kind of uh, uh, patterns within them and habits within them, such that they try to become more what you call self-sabotaging or self-destructive within themselves. So whenever any wound happens with God, any equation, any wrong way of looking at God, or any wrong way of teaching, like, let's say if you don't pray, God will punish you. If you don't do this, God will not forgive you. So this is how we try to create some kind of thought patterns, and this becomes some spiritual wounds within the child. And abuse at school, like I earlier mentioned, there was a lot of bullying in my school, and that had created a deeper scar within me. Abuse at temple or church. Whenever, like, when we go to temple or church, we expect God is there. And there itself, if the child gets abused, let's say we go to temple, and suddenly children start playing, and parents start scolding in the temple itself. So then the child loses trust in God. So then he says, like, why God is not coming and helping me? Why is allowing my father or mother to scold me? So this is how the child thinks. The child thinks differently than what adult thinks. Cultural shame. Like, we shame the whole culture. Sometimes, like, in our olden days, we used to tell this caste is good, this caste is bad, this caste is a lower caste, this caste is an upper caste, and all those things. And toxic shame, sometimes this toxic shame comes from our generations, like, let's say my grandfather abused my grandfather, and grandfather abused my father, and father abused my uh, myself, or I will abuse my children. These are the shame has increased. Like, we keep assuming that we are completely shameful, we don't deserve anything, we are not worthy of anything. So that's how this toxic shame builds up. These are some of the wounds of the inner child, and it's very important for us to heal these wounds. And what if we don't heal these wounds? Like, we become contaminated, and some of the behaviors creep into our adulthood, like codependency. Codependency is such a thing, like, where we are always trying to uh, depend on others. We are not independent, we cannot be independent, we cannot be self-sustaining. We always wanted someone to be with us. We cannot sleep alone. We cannot stay alone. We are always trying to find some partner and running behind people. Codependency, offender behavior. Like, sometimes we offend people. So offender behavior is something we do. We don't allow people to talk. We just try to offend them. We try to stop them, condemn them. Narcissistic behavior is more like, self-centered. I'm the person. I'm what is important. I don't mind for others. I don't care for others. Trust issues. Trust issues are sometimes some things like, we can't trust people. This trust issues create a lot of issues in our career, in our business, in our families, in our intimate relationships, and it's very important. Like, as I said earlier, if we lose some trust in our parents, we cannot trust our partner. So this kinds of issues comes up. Acting in or acting out. This is what is most of the world is suffering with. Acting in is like, self-violence. Let's say addictions. So we have a lot of addictions. Let's say smoking, drinking, pornography, or all these things. So this acting in, we try to be violent to our own self. We don't show our violence, but we are violent for our own self. Acting out is like, we are violent towards others. We throw tantrums. We try to break away things. We try to do some, some fantasy. We live in fantasy worlds. Expecting, like, someday some prince will come in the horse and take me along with him. The children have fantasies, and these kinds of magical beliefs. And sometimes we tell to people, like, when you do jihad, or when you go and fight for God, you will be given 72 virgins in the heaven. So these are magical beliefs. These are all wrong beliefs. So this wombs create problems, intimacy dysfunctions. This we all understand. Like, we cannot be intimate with people. We cannot open up. We cannot be vulnerable. We are always afraid within us, like, to express ourselves. And non-disciplined behaviors. Yeah, this also comes up when the inner child has wounds. Uh, we are not disciplined. We don't have a discipline in our lives. Addictive compulsions, thought distortions, and also emptiness. We feel empty inside. As I already mentioned, like, I have everything, but I felt emptiness inside, and this emptiness could not be filled with anything. Most of the times we try to fill this emptiness by purchasing more and more. I tried to do that. Like, sometimes I feel so empty that I have to eat more, or sometimes I feel so empty that I have to go more or purchase something. Like, there is something called shopping therapy. So when you feel empty, you go shopping. So this is how, but these are not real ways of healing. But the only thing, if you understand, is like, however we try to fulfill these needs, it doesn't get fulfilled. Like, let's say if I feel empty inside, if I go and purchase new cars, I don't feel again good. I may feel good for a couple of days, or let's say 1 month, but again the emptiness comes in. So it's very important for us to go into our own self and heal our own inner child. So we'll understand more about this in the coming slides. So here I would like to interrupt. I would like to stop and ask Gnanamitra, like, so how many people are joining for this thing? Anyone or live, or if anyone have questions? Vani Garu?
Yeah, Sravan Garu, nobody can interact with you. They will watch live on Facebook.
Yeah, if they are watching live, they can try to ask some questions so that we can address them.
Oh, no, we don't have any interaction like that.
Okay, so it's better to have that way so that we can have some engagement or interaction. That's okay.
Yeah.
So,
We
so
will
we'll
consider your
understand this.
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. So if at all there is something, you can let me know later.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Okay, great. So far we have understood what is inner child and what are our inner child needs, and also what are our wounds as an inner child, and what if we don't heal these wounds. Now let us understand how to heal these wounds. Okay. So before understanding how to heal these wounds, we'll understand different stages of the inner child. So there are some stages. Mostly what we tell is until 21 years, it's still a child. At 21, we are getting into our adulthood. But until 21 years, we are child. And at every stage, there will be different kinds of needs. And at every stage, we will get different kinds of wounds. And at every stage, we need to go and fill those needs and heal those wounds. So the first stage is from conception to birth. Conception is like the moment our father and mother had this intercourse, and the moment where this embryo is getting formed. This moment is the conception. This is the moment where our soul will be watching closely the whole thing in the mother's womb, and it is watching closely the full development of this embryo. So this is the moment of conception, and there will be a time of 9 months inside the mother's womb, and this stage is very important for the child. And most of the times, all our many kinds of wounds are born in this stage. So there is a nice process of uh, mother's womb stage. We can do it sometime with a group of people. Anytime if you want, you can contact me. uh, I will share my contact details later. But this is a very important stage for us, and most of the time some kinds of wounds, like say if we are a girl child inside the mother's womb, and in our family they are not happy with the girl child, so we are not happy with our own girlhood. So we try to be more masculine. We try to seek approval of our family members by becoming more like them, more what they wanted. So this is a kind of wound, and many wounds are there in our mother's womb stage. So this whole cycle is very important. These 9 months, and we can do meditation and go there inside those stages, and remember what is happening during those stages, and then we can try to talk to that self, talk to our own inner child during that stage, and uh, try to explain him or explain the situation to them, and try to convince them and try to educate them properly so that their wounds can be healed. In infant stage is 0 to 2 years. This is where we are still not able to walk. We are too much dependent on our mother and father. We cannot we need a lot of nurturing there. We'll understand in detail uh, later. So we'll first understand what are the different stages. So toddler stage is where we have learned to walk, and we are slowly experimenting, and we are experimenting with our mouth. We are experimenting and exploring a lot of things. And during this stage, a lot of issues with autonomy or shame can come up in toddler stage. Is a very important stage. And preschool stage is mostly the 5 to 7 years, and school stage is 7 to 14 years. In this stage also we acquire lot many wounds, or lot many misconceptions about our own self. Young teen is 14 to 15 years. The teenage is completely different. The school self is completely different, and the teen self is completely different. And then the kinds of what teen wanted, and the needs of the teen changes. And then we have seen ourselves, like how we had struggled with our own teenagers, and and everyone are undergoing this transformation from one stage to another stage. And adolescent stage is 15 to 17 years. Again, the needs changes here. And young adult stage is 17 to 21 years. So we have covered, these are the stages in which the inner child, the child go through these stages, and we acquire lot many information during these stages. And also most of the information sometimes can be wrong beliefs and affect us in our adulthood. It's important to go there and heal ourselves completely. Okay. Okay, so this is first time I think I'm doing this like this. You normally do with people. Anyway, so infant self is, as we already described, like infant self is from 0 to 2 years. Here, the infant completely identifies with the mother. Like, so far if you remember, like in the mother's womb stage, there is only one body and two souls inside the same body. So the infant completely identifies with mother. There is no difference between this infant and mother. When mother cries, infant cries. When infant cries, mother cries. Because there is lot of bonding between them during this stage. And here the primary needs are like acceptance, safety, and nurturance. So here the child need to be accepted. The child need to feel safe. Like, he has come out of the mother's womb, and he's struggling with the world. He's trying to understand the world. He's trying to uh, learn things slowly. So here, if he feels unsafe, it will create many problems for him in his adulthood. He need to feel safe. We need to create that safe environment for the children to grow. And nurturance. So he need to get good nurturance. He need to get good food, good quality. He need to get mother's milk for at least 6 to 8 months. And he need to get all these things. He need to get fulfilled. But nowadays, what is happening is, as soon as most of the women are now working, and they cannot give time to their children, they keep these babysitters at home, and they try to go and live the man's life. And I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but but this will create many issues in the children. They will not get, they will not feel safe with the new babysitters, or they will, sometimes there are situations where they are not getting good nurturance. So here developmental polarity is trust versus mistrust. Like, when there is these needs are being fulfilled, like acceptance, safety, and nurturance, the child will develop trust. It will trust its parents. It will, a child will think, my parents will never leave me. Child will always feel safe with parents. But if something happens during that time, child cannot trust. Child cannot trust anyone. He always feels unsafe. There is a lot of insecurity within us. Like, this insecurity damages our lives a lot. Here, the ego strength is hope. Here, like, even though there is some kind of uh, difficulties happening with the adaptation of this in this stage, we try to gain hope. We try to, let's say, morning, the parents are going to office, and we hope that evening they will come back. This is how we develop this hope, this ego strength we develop. And the potential issues here with infant self, or like fear of intimacy, this comes later, like when there are wounds with our in our infant self stage, like then when there are some situations where it is hurting, when some things are hurting us during this stage, we develop some kinds of issues in our adulthood, like fear of intimacy, fear of abandonment. If you see the life of Karna, Karna was put into some box and thrown away into the river. And this had created a serious impact scar on him. Like, he always feels afraid of being abandoned. And that's how when he found one friend, he tried to stick with him completely. He do not want to leave that friend because he's afraid of abandonment. He cannot, if this friends leave, this friend leaves him, he's again alone. So this fear of abandonment had made him, like, do whatever he wanted to please his friend completely. That's how we become people pleasers. We go on pleasing people. So because we are feeling afraid of abandonment. They know when they leave us, what happens to us? And other needs are like, needing but afraid of physical attention. There is a lot of need for physical attention, like, someone wants us to touch us, someone wants to hug us, but there are a lot of needs, but we are afraid of that. Fear of acknowledging needs because of the fear. Sometimes we don't acknowledge our own needs. This happened with me, like when I was in this infant stage, I was in a cradle and I was crying, and no one came to attend me. And at that time, I had a deeper impact. Like no one will support me, so my needs are very not important. So I just need to do what they wanted, what they expected. So I tried to condemn my own needs. So this how some wounds in our infant self uh, creates issues with us. And continual need of oral gratification. Like let's say if we are not getting good nurturance in our infant self stage, we try to fulfill that void with oral gratification. Like we overeat, or we do smoking or alcohol or drugs or all those things comes up in our adulthood. Inability to trust even trustworthy situations. Like I used to say, even Lord Vishnu comes and stand before them, they cannot trust him. They try to be skeptic and out of touch with their own physical needs. Their bodily needs were not taken care of and was not kissed enough or hugged enough. They won't even what you call. They will try to get in touch, get out of touch with of their physical needs. Even they feel hungry, they don't feel hungry. Like there are some people, they don't feel sleepy, they don't feel hungry. All physical needs are like completely uh, damaged. So we don't acknowledge those physical needs. We try to condemn our body. We try to abuse our body too much and need to be admired. And this goes on like some even after adulthood, and when in the old ages also, some people want everyone to admire them, everyone to appreciate them. These needs, if the inner child needs are not getting fulfilled, the adulthood is very problematic. Okay, so the time we'll just have a very per glance of what happens. And the toddler self is like 2 to 5 years. Here the child wants to explore and have its own identity, wants to be accepted and encouraged to fluctuate between dependency and autonomy. Sometimes the child want to be dependent and sometimes child want to be independent. There is some fluctuation in this stage when 2 to 5 years. Child want to stay closer to parents sometime and child want to run away. Now we need to be encouraged to do that. Like if we want to come in, we need to embrace them. If they want to go for and explore themselves, we need to encourage them. Developmental polarity is autonomy versus shame and self-doubt. See, the shame and self-doubt is one of the core aspects in our lives. Like most of the problems we face in our lives are born at this stage because we try to have lot many self-doubts about our own selves. And if the toddler self needs are getting fulfilled, it develops a lot of autonomy and it develops a lot of willpower. The ego strength here is willpower. It develops a lot of willpower. It can child will think it can do whatever it wanted to do. So the potential issues here when the wounds are not getting fulfilled are like trouble knowing what you wanted. There is something like identity crisis. You don't know what you want. Fear of trying something new, and fear of anger. Like let's say the child, if the child at the 2 years of age, 3 years of age, if the child is getting angrier, and parents will try to control the child, will tell oh, you should not get angrier, you should control your anger, and then that time onwards there is a fear of anger. We don't embrace our anger. We will try to condemn our anger. Frequent conflicts with authority or avoiding all conflicts. Like this is how some people grow up. Like they don't want conflicts at all, or they will have frequent conflicts with authority. They'll go into this opposite. Like let's say we are not given that kind of approval what we needed as a child, so we are always afraid of that authority, of authority figures. Like we try to see authority figures as if they are trying to control us. They don't give us chance to explore ourselves. They don't give us a chance for us to grow. Or we'll go to the opposite. Like, we try to please the authority figures. Okay, now this guy, this father, this mother is very powerful than me. And if we please them, we will get what we wanted. So what we'll do, we go into pleasing mode. We condemn our own needs and we try to please our parents or please all our authorities, our gurus. We try to be nice to them. Inability to say no. This is one of the biggest problem most of the Indians face. Like, they cannot say no. And feeling that you must follow other people's suggestions. So you cannot be independent, you cannot take your own decisions. And difficulty stating how you feel because of the fear of being humiliated or rejected. This also I suffered a lot with. Like, I could not express my feelings freely. And it is very important for us to heal this toddler self so that we can come out of all these issues and we can live our life happily and freely. So this is one of the very important statement. Like, a child considers his or her parents as gods and starts making himself wrong to make the parent right. So this is how most of the child try to condemn their own selves. And they don't want to see parents being wrong. So what we do is we try to make ourselves wrong. This kind of situation happens with our toddler self, and then it tries to creep into our adulthood, and a lot of issues can come up with this. There can be self-worth issues during this stage. And in the event of time, I'm skipping some things, but it's okay. Everything is available in Google, and you can anytime contact me for more details. Primary need is to know I am someone, male or female, to do things by ourselves, witnessing healthy intimacy, learning how to deal with the world through role models, mom and dad. So when we become 5 years old, the needs are different. Like, here we want to know whether I am a male or female, or we wanted to see, like, how people become intimate and how to deal with the world. Like, we try to become like our role models. Our role models are like mother and father. We try to deal with the world as our mother does. We try to deal with the world as our father does. Here, the polarity is initiative versus guilt. When the primary needs of this preschool self are met, we become more initiative. Like, Vaniji had taken this initiative of taking these classes or conducting these sessions, and I have taken this initiative of transforming people. It's an initiative. Otherwise, there will be some people with guilt. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not right. All these things comes up when the preschool self needs are not fulfilled. Ego strength is purpose here, and power is imagining and feeling. So we try to learn these things, like, how to imagine, how to feel here. Potential issues from this development stage are like, feeling awkward about our own body. And being highly critical of ourselves, like, full of shame and guilt, trouble knowing what you are feeling, acting on guesses and assumptions, having no tolerance for others' behaviors, or being a perfectionist, and feeling responsible for parents' happiness. Sometimes we feel like, we are responsible. When mother and father fight, it's because of us. This is how a child sees, and this try to create a lot of issues in our adulthood. Coming to school self, it is between 7 to 14 years. Here, the ego strength is competence. Here, we need to be taught. We need to be taught, like, how to read, how to write, how to draw, or any such life skills. which are very basic. And developmental polarity is industry versus inferiority. Here, the primary challenges faced are like judgment by one's own peer. Let's like I have said, bullying, teasing, or fitting in the society. Here, let's say if we are given a lot of judgments by our peers, we have difficulty in fitting into the society. And competence, like when there is not much guidance given in this stage, the competence will not be developed. So we will become very dumb, like we cannot read or we cannot write, we cannot talk, all those things. So these things need to be taught in this stage. Interdependence. So interdependence is very important aspect. Either most of the times we get into some polarity, like we become too independent or we become too dependent. So here we try to learn these things, interdependence. So we try to learn these aspects. Here these are the challenges faced by the school self. Potential issues from the developmental stage are like feeling self-conscious in social gatherings, inability to complete something you have started. So many people have that, like when they start something and they cannot complete it. And also not being able to attain professional goals, and fear of public speaking, feeling competition all the time. Like always we try to compare with our peers, how much salary he is getting, how much salary she is getting. There is a lot of conflicts, how this business is performing or how this trainer is doing. Hmm? There is a lot of comparison. Lacking basic life skills like reading, writing, dancing, painting, etc. Feeling ugly. Many people, even they are beautiful, they feel ugly. Feeling inferior and feeling bad all the time. Some people feel bad all the time. These are some of the issues coming with the school self, and going into that stage and again trying to heal that part of ourselves will help us come out of this stages. So with the keeping time in mind, I think we will try to end here. Maybe we can take up other topics in another day. So what we will do is we will do a small meditation now, and I will be guiding you through the meditation. You can do this meditation so that you know how to deal with this inner child, how to uh, try to encourage this inner child, how to fulfill these needs of the inner child. Okay, is that fine, Vani Garu?
Yes, Ravan Garu.
Yes. So what we will do is let us close our eyes. If you are sitting, it's okay. If you are sleeping, it's okay. So let us close our eyes and try to relax ourselves. We can take few deep breaths if we want, or we can just be with the breath, whichever is convenient for you.
Five to 10 minutes meditation is fine, Ravan Garu.
Yes, yes, we'll end by 4.
Yeah.
So try to observe your breathing and try to be with your breath. With each breath, you enter into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. Continue breathing. So with each breath, try to enter into a deeper and deeper states of consciousness. Remember, in these deeper states of consciousness, we can access all the memories, all the information, and everything which we had experienced in the past. Now I would like you to imagine going and visiting your own childhood home where you are brought up, which home you spend most of your childhood. Go and visit that home and try to look for this inner child. Try to look for this inner child. Most of the times this inner child don't want to come out. Is very much afraid to come. It's okay. You go and look for the inner child. Maybe under the bed or in the backyard, hiding behind a tree. Or how this inner child is trying to present itself. Look for this inner child. Trust the impressions you are getting. And slowly make this inner child ease into yourself. Like, try to pamper the inner child. Try to make it feel safe with you. Say that I am your older self coming, let's say, after 30 years or whatever your age is. I'm your older self, future self, and you can completely feel safe with me. I came here to love you and guide you. Trust the impressions you are getting. Allow this inner child to express itself. Try to see how this inner child is feeling. What are the kinds of emotions it is giving? Trust the impressions you are getting. Try to make it feel safe. Try to ask what issues you are facing. How do you feel? Take this inner child to its favorite place, maybe in nature or a backyard with full of trees or waterfalls or whichever place where this inner child will feel safe and happier. Try to make it feel safe. Allow this inner child to play freely. Allow this inner child to trust you. Develop this relationship with your inner child. Anchor this place, and whenever you see this place here onwards, you try to remember your inner child and try to communicate with your inner child and fulfill all its needs. You tell to the inner child that I am there for you. I will never let you down. I will fulfill all your needs at all the stages. I will give you security, safety, acceptance, approval, validation, love, nurturance. I will guide you how to deal with life's little challenges. Tell this inner child. I'm sorry for not being there with you when you were undergoing lot many situations. But now I will never leave you. I will always be there for you. Whenever you need me, you can call for me and I will be present for you. Saying this, you can imagine yourself hugging your inner child in a loving way. You can love your inner child. You can even physically demonstrate that you are hugging your inner child. You can kiss the inner child. Yeah. That's wonderful, friends. So slowly, whenever you are ready, you can come back to the present moment, come back to your room, and whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes. That's wonderful. So my name is Shravan Mahesh. You can search for me in Google. If you need anything, you will get all the details from Google. And see you again. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, I think we are done with the session, Vani Garu. I think we can end the session. Thank you very much for giving me